We are live in Cleveland as the Republican National Convention gets underway.
Fox News megastar Megyn Kelly is reportedly claiming she was sexually harassed by her boss at Fox News Channel 10 years ago.
20 courageous women stepped forward, bringing down the once untouchable Roger Ailes of Fox News as depicted in the gripping film Bombshell. This intense movie delves into the dark saga of sexual harassment that rocked Fox News to its foundation, proving how even the mightiest can be brought to their knees. Directed by Jay Roach and boasting a stellar cast, the film pulls you in with a pace that's as relentless and surprising as The Big Short. But what if the cameras turned on the powerful men who abused them? The fall of a media titan. The situation escalated in 2016 when Gretchen Carlson, a former Fox journalist, filed a lawsuit against him accusing him of sexual harassment. This action initiated an internal investigation at Fox News, leading to a cascade of further allegations against him. Megyn Kelly, a rapidly rising star at Fox, also stepped forward, stating that she had been harassed. In total, more than 20 women voiced similar allegations, which eventually forced his resignation in July of that year. Yet, this was only the beginning. The fallout from these allegations was about to unfold, affecting far more than just the individuals involved. Directed by Jay Roach, known for Trumbo and Meet the Parents, the film is paced similarly to The Big Short, which was written by the same screenwriter. The star-studded cast includes Allison Janney, Connie Britton, and Kate McKinnon in key supporting roles. The narrative is based on real events and delves into the scandal that rocked Fox News, shedding light on the courage of those who dared to expose the hidden truths within one of America's most influential news organizations. Yet, this is only the beginning. As the plot unfolds, the depth and extent of the issues become clearer, exposing how many were affected by the toxic culture at Fox. The film does more than just recount the personal struggles of the main characters. It also provides a window into the systemic failures that allowed such behavior to persist. With every new development, the tension mounts, constantly reminding viewers of the high stakes involved for everyone caught in this scandal. He transformed Fox News into a television powerhouse. Before his tenure at Fox, he was a renowned Republican strategist who helped Ronald Reagan and George H.W. Bush secure election victories. He later transitioned into television, where he revitalized CNBC during the 1990s. By 1996, Rupert Murdoch, then head of News Corp, recognized his capabilities and hired him to launch Fox News. He played a significant role in identifying and mentoring strong conservative voices like Bill O'Reilly and Sean Hannity, whose shows, characterized by their opinion-driven content, quickly became central to the network's growth. Under him, Fox News frequently promoted controversial viewpoints such as questioning Barack Obama's birthplace and accusing businesses of waging a war on Christmas. He also had a specific vision for how female anchors should appear, favoring blonde, slim women and insisting on see-through desks that showcased their legs, a practice highlighted in Bombshell. Many women at the network reported that the culture there seemed to prefer skirts over pants, reinforcing this visual standard. However, these were just the surface-level issues. As more stories emerged, it became evident that many female employees experienced much deeper problems at Fox News. Key players in the media steer the course of politics, with one network leading the charge. The silent battles within media's giant. He maintained close ties with influential leaders and former presidents. Even before Donald Trump announced his presidential run, he was a regular presence on the network. As Trump's campaign progressed, his decision to give him significant airtime helped bolster his candidacy, playing a crucial role in his election victory. Fox News primarily targeted older conservative viewers, a demographic he felt was being ignored by other news outlets. By the time he departed from Fox in 2016, the network was attracting around 2 million viewers daily, more than CNN and MSNBC combined, as reported by the New York Times. However, this wasn't the biggest scandal. Gretchen Carlson and others accused him of sexual harassment. In 2014, Gabriel Sherman, a journalist for New York Magazine, published a biography of him titled The Loudest Voice in the Room, which included allegations from a woman who chose to remain anonymous. She claimed that while he was at NBC, he offered her an extra $100 a week in exchange for sexual favors. In 2016, Gretchen Carlson, a former Fox and Friends host, formally accused him of persistent sexual harassment, stating that after she rebuffed his advances, he retaliated by reducing her salary and shifting her show to less favorable time slots. Carlson's lawsuit described a conversation in which he suggested her career would have benefited if they had entered a sexual relationship earlier. When she declined, she was subsequently fired. but that was just the beginning of the fallout. Carlson's lawsuit triggered a wave of allegations from other women, leading to his eventual resignation from Fox News. He denied all accusations, claiming Carlson was let go due to poor show ratings. Fox News attempted to keep sexual harassment incidents under wraps. When Carlson joined the network, she signed an agreement that prevented her from speaking publicly about her experiences and required any legal disputes to be settled through private arbitration rather than public court proceedings. In a Time article, Carlson explained how companies use non-disclosure agreements and forced arbitration to suppress cases of sexual harassment, even when women risk their careers to speak out. As more women came forward with allegations of harassment against him, O'Reilly, and other powerful figures at Fox News, it became apparent that many women at the company faced discrimination and abuse. For instance, Fox News settled a sexual harassment lawsuit against O'Reilly with a staggering $32 million payment, only to renew his contract afterward. He continued to defend himself and other prominent men at the network, while the women working there had few avenues to address their grievances. Yet, that was not even the most troubling aspect. The atmosphere at Fox News was so intimidating that many women felt they couldn't speak up at all. There was evident tension between Roger Ailes and Rupert Murdoch's sons, Lachlan and James, portrayed by real-life brothers Ben Lawson and Josh Lawson in the film. Lachlan had clashed with Ailes over Fox News direction in 2005, leading him to return to Australia after Rupert Murdoch sided with Ailes. In 2015, changes at the company meant Ailes had to report to Lachlan and James instead of Rupert, which displeased him. With past scandals lingering, the Murdoch brothers face a new test of their leadership. Power plays at the top. By then, James had become the CEO of 21st Century Fox, while Lachlan was the executive co-chairman at Fox. The brothers, attending the Sun Valley Conference, a yearly gathering for powerful figures, learned about Carlson's lawsuit. In their father's absence, they consulted with their legal team and decided to launch an internal investigation into the sexual harassment allegations, choosing the law firm Paul Weiss for the task. Speculation abounds about why the brothers chose to act. Perhaps they were still reeling from a phone hacking scandal in the UK that had embarrassed their father, Rupert Murdoch, or maybe they aimed to prevent another scandal. They might have also realized that probing into his actions would uncover his widely known rude and sexist behavior. It could have even been seen as a strategic opportunity to eliminate a powerful rival within the company. He sought help from Rudy Giuliani and Susan Estrich. After the lawsuit surfaced, he asked Giuliani, a former New York City mayor and legal advisor, for his assistance. Ailes and Giuliani had a long-standing relationship, with Ailes having helped Giuliani with media strategies during his 1989 mayoral campaign, and Giuliani had even officiated Ailes' third wedding. When the company began its internal investigation, Giuliani acted as Ailes' advocate. In a surprising twist, Susan Estrich, a renowned women's rights advocate and legal expert, joined his defense team. Estrich was known for changing how the legal system deals with rape cases, especially her criticism of how acquaintance rape was often downplayed. Despite her strong feminist stance, Estrich had been friends with Ailes for many years and frequently appeared on Fox News, often providing liberal viewpoints. But this wasn't the most unexpected part. This was another instance where a respected feminist lawyer chose to defend a man accused of severe misconduct against women. At the same time, his wife, Beth Ailes, took steps to protect her husband during the scandal. As soon as the lawsuit became public, Beth, portrayed by Connie Britton in Bombshell, reached out to Kimberly Guilfoyle, a Fox News co-host, to rally support across the network for him. The movie shows Guilfoyle distributing pro-Ailes t-shirts and urging her female colleagues to wear them. Notably, Guilfoyle left Fox News in 2018 amid her own allegations of misconduct, which she denied. Greta Van Susteren and Jeanine Pirro, both prominent Fox News hosts, initially supported him when he was accused of harassment. Van Susteren, the host of On the Record with Greta Van Susteren, and Pirro, host of Justice with Judge Jeanine, reacted differently to the accusations, reflecting the varied responses of those close to him. Van Susteren, who had worked with Ailes for nearly 15 years, was initially vocal in her defense. When Gretchen Carlson accused him of harassment, Van Susteren dismissed her as a disgruntled employee, suggesting Carlson was upset over her contract not being renewed. She argued that if the allegations were true, she would have known about them, and cited his history of promoting women, such as Catherine Cryer, as proof of his support for female hosts. Support shifts as allies choose sides in the unfolding scandal. The fractured allegiances of Fox News. However, as more women came forward with similar accounts, Van Susteren began to question her initial stance. Eventually, she expressed regret for defending Ailes and criticized Fox News management and the outside investigators for failing to do their jobs properly. Her change of heart coincided with Ailes' departure after multiple accusations surfaced. By September 2016, Van Susteren decided to leave Fox News, invoking a clause in her contract that allowed her to exit following Ailes' resignation. She felt the network no longer suited her, especially amid the settlement of Carlson's lawsuit, which concluded with a $20 million settlement on the day of her departure. In her final remarks, she emphasized that she would have spoken up had she known of any misconduct. Conversely, Jeanine Pirro, known for her staunch conservative views and legal background, continued to support Ailes longer than many of her colleagues. In Bombshell, Pirro is portrayed as supporting him in a heated conversation with Megyn Kelly, illustrating the deep divisions within the network. While the film includes fictional elements, it reflects the real-life split among Fox News employees during the scandal. Pirro, alongside other conservative hosts, dismissed the allegations as baseless attacks meant to damage Ailes and the network. Her continued presence at Fox News following the scandal demonstrated her enduring loyalty to him. However, this wasn't the worst part. As the scandal progressed, further shifts occurred within Fox News. Initially, figures like Van Susteren and Geraldo Rivera united in their support for Ailes, but as more women spoke up and the severity of the situation became evident, even Rivera retracted his support, openly criticizing Ailes' actions. Ultimately, Rupert Murdoch, the owner of Fox News, decided to terminate him, acknowledging the seriousness of the allegations and taking a step toward addressing systemic issues within the company. The contrasting responses of Greta Van Susteren and Jeanine Pirro highlight the complexities faced by individuals navigating public controversies in a close-knit professional environment. Van Susteren's evolution from defender to critic illustrates the struggle of confronting difficult truths, while Pirro's unwavering loyalty underscores the deep divisions such situations can create. As the scandal unfolded, it prompted significant changes at Fox News, focusing on improving the workplace environment and addressing long-standing issues. However, even with these changes, the story of how the network handled the accusations remains a powerful example of the challenges organizations face when managing internal crises. During this period, Megyn Kelly chose to remain silent, as depicted in the film. Beth also reached out to Kelly, who stated she couldn't discuss the matter until the ongoing investigation was concluded. Meanwhile, at least 20 women, including Kelly, came forward with more allegations of harassment. They shared their stories with the investigation team or Carlson's attorneys. One woman even claimed Ailes had secretly recorded her and used the footage to coerce her into setting up other women in compromising situations. Kelly also met with the investigators, revealing that he had harassed her a decade earlier. But this wasn't the worst part. As the investigation continued, more disturbing details emerged, intensifying the gravity of the situation. The crisis escalated and Fox News considered dismissing him. After 20 years, he stepped down and later went on to advise Donald Trump. Less than a year after leaving Fox, he died following a fall at his home in Florida. New leaders step up, aiming to fix old problems but facing new challenges. Tumult at the top. Bill Shine resigned as co-president of Fox News in 2017 during a period of major turmoil at the network due to multiple sexual harassment scandals. Shine had been with Fox News since its early days over 20 years earlier and had become a key figure in its leadership, which had been shaped by the network's former head. Shine took on the role of co-president after he was forced to step down in July 2016 following sexual harassment accusations from former anchor Gretchen Carlson. Shine's resignation was viewed as part of a broader effort by Rupert Murdoch and his sons James and Lachlan to clean up the company's image after several incidents revealed a troubling workplace culture at Fox News. Shortly after Shine stepped down, Bill O'Reilly, a popular anchor at the network, also left following similar accusations of sexual harassment. The allegations led to public outrage, with many advertisers pulling their support from the network. Reports revealed that O'Reilly and Fox News had paid a total of $13 million to settle harassment claims made by 5 women. Shine was named in several lawsuits that accused him of either ignoring the misconduct or helping to cover it up, which heavily influenced the decision to remove him from his role. But this wasn't the end of the network's problems. Shine's departure marked a critical moment in Fox News' efforts to repair its reputation. However, it also highlighted the ongoing challenges in changing the internal culture at the network. Suzanne Scott was appointed president of programming, and Jay Wallace became president of news to help bring stability, as both had been with the network for many years. Still, many wondered if these leadership changes signaled a true commitment to reform or were just a way to manage the immediate crisis. Moreover, Shine's exit fueled speculation that even bigger changes might be on the horizon, especially as Rupert Murdoch began to hand over more responsibilities to his sons. While Shine had been seen as a steadying force after his predecessor left, his resignation suggested that more shifts might be needed for the network to rebuild its credibility. The ongoing scandal at Fox News also affected 21st Century Fox's larger goals, such as their attempt to fully take over the Sky Network, which faced tough regulatory scrutiny in the UK to see if they were suitable owners. But this wasn't the worst part. Shine stepping down wasn't just a single event, it was part of a larger plan by Fox News to address the serious issues of sexual harassment. Still, the strategy of bringing in new leaders while keeping many of the old ones led some to question whether these moves were deep changes or just surface-level fixes. Margot Robbie and Kate McKinnon's characters in the film are fictional. The storyline depicts Megyn Kelly's internal struggle about whether to share her experience from a decade earlier, wondering if his inappropriate behavior persisted. To find out, she meets Kayla, a young, ambitious reporter portrayed by Robbie who confides that he has been making advances toward her. This is shown in a disturbing scene where he asks Kayla to prove her loyalty by lifting her skirt. Kayla and Jess, Kayla's friend and colleague, are fictional characters. Jess decides not to get involved, fearing her sexual orientation might jeopardize her job if revealed. These characters represent the fear and difficult choices faced by less powerful women at Fox, torn between advancing their careers or speaking out to protect themselves and others. Was this film's portrayal of workplace harassment impactful enough to change industry norms? Like, subscribe and leave your comments below to join the conversation.